Hello and welcome to another book haul. This one will be a lot shorter than the last one of these that was on my channel, which if you haven't seen I will link up there because it was a really fun one. I was unboxing a box of books that were a mystery to me and there were some interesting titles in there, so I recommend that video. It was super fun. And this one is just a little bitty tiny weenie book haul. There will still be a book haul at the end of this month, which these books will also appear in, but I kind of wanted to do a dedicated haul for them because today, when I'm filming this, I went into work for the first time in 5 months. I was popping in to invigilate an exam, and while I was there I decided to go to one of the local independent bookshops that is local to my work and that I've been to before and I really like, and I feel like right now it's especially important to support independent businesses because business is hard right now, especially for independent businesses. So I went to Gaze the Word, which is, as the name of the shop would suggest, an LGBTQIA plus bookshop in Russell Square in London, which sells books that only are either by LGBTQIA plus authors or are about LGBTQIA plus characters, and I think both, like at the same time in the same books. So while I was there I specifically asked for books with poly relationships in them because I've only read one and I really enjoyed it and I just want more of that kind of rep because I don't see it very often, and 2, stuff as cute as Heartstopper, which was a tall order I think. But I did get some really great recommendations and I actually ended up picking up 5 books. I know, I have no chill. But again, support independent business if you can, and I can and I wanted to. So the first book I got was A Love Story for Bewildered Girls by Emma Morgan. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just read you the synopses of these rather than try and explain what they're about without really knowing, because I basically just bought the ones that were suggested. I didn't really think that hard about it, which is probably bad. Anyway, let's move on. Grace has what one might call a full and interesting life, which is code for not married and has no kids. Her life is the envy of her straight friends, but all this time she has been waiting in secret for love to hit her so hard that she runs out of breath, like the way a wave in a rough sea bowls you over, slams you into the sand and nearly drowns you. When Grace meets a beautiful woman at a party, she falls suddenly and desperately in love. At the same party, lawyer Annie meets the man of her dreams, the only man she's ever met whose table manners are up to her mother's standards. And across the city, Violet, who is afraid of almost everything, is making another discovery of her own, that for the first time in her life she's falling in love with a woman. A Love Story for Bewildered Girls is a moving and exquisitely funny novel about love, sex and heartbreak, and this is meant to be poly as well, and cover's super pretty and I liked the sound of it so I bought it. It's not more deep than that, guys, come on. Next is Black Car Burning by Helen Mort, which, as you can tell from the cover, is kind of about rock climbing, poly relationships and rock climbing, and it's set in Sheffield in the UK, which I like because I don't read a lot of books that are set in the UK, and it was described to me as like romance meets crime detective story. So how do we trust each other? Alexa is a police community support officer whose world feels unstable. Karen, Alexa's girlfriend, is pushing her away and pushing herself even harder. A climber, she fixates on a brutal route. Lee, who works at a local climbing gear shop, watches Karen climb and feels complicit. Meanwhile, an ex-police officer compulsively revisits the April day in 1989 that changed his life forever. Trapped in his memories of the disaster, he tracks the Hillsborough inquests, questioning everything. As the young woman Simon negotiates Sheffield's violent inheritance, the rock faces of Strange, and their relationship with each other, Mort stunningly grounds these journeys of trust and trauma, fear and falling in the texture of the urban and natural terrain underfoot. And if you haven't heard of the Hillsborough disaster, it was an incident that occurred in 1989 in Manchester, I think. Well, it was in Hillsborough, which I think is in Manchester. And essentially there was a football pitch with fences up around to keep the crowd off of the football pitch, and there was a surge and a lot of people were crushed and died in the Hillsborough disaster. And that's a very basic overview, so do feel free to look up more details. I actually don't know if that disaster is known about outside of the UK, but in the UK everybody knows about it, or at least in my age group. And the next one I have is one that's cute. So that one was another Polly book, and then this one is one that's cute. And I actually just read a book by Simon James Green. This is Heartbreak Boys, his newest book. I read his book Alex in Wonderland in my latest reading challenge video, which I will link up there for you, and it was absolutely hilarious and I absolutely loved it. So when I was recommended this specifically, I was like sold. I was already going to get it anyway, so of course I was going to buy it. Jack's summer of love just became the summer of dumped. Nate is newly out and newly broken-hearted. Together they're on a mission to prove to the world, or at least Instagram, that they are totally over their exes. But between dismal campsites and clapped-out camper vans, is there a sparkle of something that might change this summer from insta-fake to forever? Cute! Cute, cute. I mean, it's never going to be as cute as Heartstopper because Nick and Charlie are just the cutest couple just ever, but if it's even slightly as cute as Heartstopper, then I am happy. Next up we have the slightly steamy option. This is Permission by Saskia Vogel, which is quite short, but apparently this is not quite super smutty, but a little bit smutty, because it's Polly in BDSM. So Echo is a young actress living on the coast of Los Angeles, grieving for her father who was swept out to sea. With no true friends and a troubled relationship with her mother, she seeks solace in strangers. Strangers like Orly, a dominatrix who moves in across the street. Through this unconventional relationship, Echo tests the boundaries of desire and discovers her own means to healing. Permission is a profoundly modern story about sex, power and loneliness. It is about people who turn to the erotic for comfort and cure, searching for an answer to that sacred question, how do I want to be loved? Which, I don't know, it just sounds really great. And I'll be honest, all the lady in the shop had to say was Polly and BDSM, and I was there. That sounds great. And the last book in this hopefully mini haul is Adaptation by Melinda Lowe, which is an author I actually have another book by. So I have Ash by Melinda Lowe, which is a Cinderella retelling that I bought from Gaze the Word absolutely ages ago and haven't read because story of my life. But I think this one is sci-fi and it's Polly. So yes please. Reese remembered the bird in the headlights, and she remembered waking up 27 days later. But the more she tried to focus in on that thing that had happened in between those events, the more it slid away from her. Flocks of birds are hurling themselves at aeroplanes across America. Thousands die. Millions are stranded. Everyone knows the world will never be the same. For Reese, though, this is just the start. Torn between longtime crush David and new girl Amber, the real question is, who can she trust? That just sounds great, doesn't it? I mean, I'm not wrong. So that's it. 5 books that I picked up from Gaze the Word in London just because I wanted to and completely on a whim. But I'm really looking forward to reading all of these, and I will include a link to their website down below. They don't have a transactional website yet, but they do mail order. So if there's something specific you want, or if you want a recommendation, you can call them and they will send you your order by post. I don't know if they do international delivery, but anyway, tell all your friends, they're great. They're great, and I'm really looking forward to reading these. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks, bye!